Good morning students. Today we are going to go for the next chapter, that is random sampling. So what do you mean by random sampling? The random sampling is a method where the individual units of the population are selected at a random. It means we are going to select the individual units from the population as a samples. So that is called as a random sampling. So why we require the random sampling? Listen here, whenever you want to know about any particular factor, in that sense we are going to use the random sampling. For example, if at all the government wants to know what is the impact of rise in the price of petrol on the people, so that time we cannot go to the each and every person and ask whether he is happy or whether he is not. Okay, how much of petrol he was using before and how much of petrol he is using now. So all these things we cannot go to each and every person and ask him. Instead we are going to select some set of the people, and then in that set of the people we are going to select some people as a samples. So those samples can be called as what here? A random sampling. For example, if at all we are going to select around if the government wants to know what's the impact of rise in price of the petrol, then assume if the government is going to select the 300 households. How many household? The government is going to select the 300 household in order to know the impact of rise in price of the petrol. Then here it can select the household in a random manner. Not necessarily that it should go according to the serial number. Out of this 300, it can select any number of household. Okay, assume the government is going to select 30 households. How much? Out of 300 household, the government is going to select the 30 household as a samples. Then how it is going to select? It can select house number 149, 219, 111, 165, 230, 007, 089, 212, 051, okay, 01, 10, 11. So like this, it can select the 30 household, and based on their remarks or based on the whatever response these 30 households are going to give, so based on their response it is applied to these 300 households. So this method is called as what here? It is called as a random sampling. Okay. Therefore here it is a method wherein we are not going to study all the 300 household, but we are going to select only few households as the samples. So this method is called as a random sampling. Okay. Now the next part what we are going to study is non-random sampling. Which is the next thing we are going to study? The next part we are going to study is about the non-random sampling. So what is a non-random sampling? Okay, non-random sampling. So here the non-random sampling is a method where all the units of the population do not have the chance to come and give their response. So in sampling what happens? We are going to select some of the household. Whereas in case of a non-random sampling, we are not going to select samples on the basis, but we are going to select those samples which we know better. Okay, here we are going to become partial. In case of non-random sampling, the investigator is going to become what here? Partial. Okay, and here every household is not having an equal chance. Whereas in case of random sampling, every household is assumed to have equal chance of being selected to give the response. But here, every household is not having equal chance of being selected. And in random sampling, what we say? We say that whether a household is selected or no, but it is treated as it is selected, because all are having equal chance in case of random sampling. But here we are not giving any equal chance to all the samples which are being selected, but we are going to select those samples whom we know better. So that is called as a non-random sampling. Okay. So So the question may come for 4 marks. What is the difference between random sampling and non-random sampling?